Before you begin, it is incredibly essential that you check your image size and you make sure that you are working with a document with appropriate resolution and enough pixels that it will print well. You're about to do all sorts of good stuff to this document. You don't want to waste that time on an image that will not print appropriately. You can find out your information about your document up in the Image tab and Image Size. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But your first clue is often in the file size in just the regular Windows Explorer. Right now we're looking at the Island Pond and this regular pond. And so I have one that is 562 kilobytes and one that is 1800 and change. So obviously more is more, and more is generally almost always better. There is a difference between file sizes that are good for web. Smaller is usually preferred because then web pages will load nicely. But for print, you need more information. So I can already tell that this document, Pond, is going to be a better quality image than this one. That said, 1800 is still not very big. A number more like 4000 or 5000 would be even better. But we're going to show you how to fix it if this is the only one that you can find. So again, here is my pond image. Here's the island pond. We already decided this one is a better file size. So let's go see what these things say. So we'll go back to this document, go to Image and Image Size, and take a look and see what we're looking at here. These top boxes talk about pixel dimensions, which is fine, but most of us aren't accustomed to thinking about our worlds in pixels. We are more familiar with understanding pieces of paper. So I have the width and the height of my document, and then I have a resolution. So currently we're 17 and change and 13. And a piece of paper is 8.5 inches wide and 11 tall, except we are landscape, so that would make it 11 wide and 8.5 tall. So the first thing that I will do is move that 17 to be 11. Now it's 8.5 tall. That's fine. It's close enough. 8.25 is almost 8.5. And notice now up here my pixel dimensions are changing. Now we're 1.3 megs and it was 3.5. That means you are more than cutting this in half if I leave this as is. Now you're hoping to get a resolution at about 300. That's the goal. If I increase this all the way to 300, it wants to become 23, and it was 3.5. That is a tremendous amount bigger, almost more than 7 times bigger. So that means that out of every 8 pixels, 7 of them Photoshop will need to invent. It has a system of inventing. We have this dialog here that's right now says Bicubic Automatic. Nearest neighbor means it will take from the missing pixel and look one above, one down, one left, one right, like a plus sign. Bilinear is also like a plus sign, but instead of just 1 pixel up, it will do 2 up, 2 down, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Bicubic takes the plus sign and adds an X. So if your missing pixel is in the middle, it will take 2 above, 2 below, 2 to the left and right, and also 2 to the diagonal in all 4 directions. It is a larger place to look from, a larger sample, and so your pixels tend to be more accurate. It gives me choices about whether I would like a smoother gradient, better for enlargement, or better for reduction. If you are getting rid of pixels because you are making a file smaller, that comes with rules too. Generally, it is better to let Photoshop be smart for you and say, I'm making this bigger, please choose this one. The difference between these has to do with if there's a difference of pixel, which direction does it choose? Does it try to highlight contrast or does it try to blend? So I'm going to choose Bicubic Smoother and I'm going to say OK, but I have to be honest, I am not super loving this. That is 7 times bigger. Truly, what that information was telling me is that I need to go find a better source image. This is too much of a jump. But we can try it and see what happens. So I'll say OK, and I'm going to zoom in. Now you can see I'm not ridiculously close yet. Okay, we're not that zoomed in just yet. But you can see the lack of detail in the trees, the blurriness here along the shoreline. And if I come back out, this is not a fantastic resolution print. If I was just dead set that this is the one that I need to do, I would suggest sending this to the printer as is, without working any more. And if it comes out on paper an 8.5 by 11, and you are pleased with the quality of the image, then by all means continue. But you should make sure before you continue spending any more time. Let's compare to this other document that we knew was larger already. Okay, it has more pixels. We knew that from the get-go. And let's see how that information changed. So image size. So again, pixels are up here. That's great. I'm going to look down here. So the paper size here is more in line. I already have a higher resolution. Again, though, this is not a very large image, not yet. It's a little bit wider of an image than it is tall. We can see that with our eyes. So I'm going to make my width 11 again. And it's our same dimensions, 8.25. Without changing resolution, we have not quite, but almost halved our document. If I increase this to 200, we're about equal. If I increase it to 300, we're back to that 23 number, but we started at 9. So yes, we're increasing by a bit more than half. It is significant, but it is less distance to get here. I am more confident that that will work. Again, I am enlarging, so I'm going to choose the enlargement choice, and I'm going to say OK. And again, we're going to zoom in and see how we like the quality. Are we feeling OK about this image? If you have any concerns, if you are not sure that it is a high enough quality image, or you are unsure it will print well, at this point, I suggest sending it to the printer and seeing it on paper. It is better to spend that energy right now and know ahead of time than to spend a lot of energy and have it not come out like you like.